Mary and Jen here this week. We're going to talk about reads that have to do with baking, cooking. There's some type of food theme. That's what we're going for this week, right, Jen?
Exactly. Books that make you hungry while you read.
Right? I mean, and we're all doing a lot of snacking anyway, so let's just up the ante. So I'll go first. So my first one is a kid's graphic novel that I really like. It's written by Sam Sykes. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he's Diana Gabaldon's kid who wrote Outlander. He also writes a bunch of cool adult fantasy stuff, but he's also written this really cute, adorable kids graphic novel. So Brianna Jacobson had huge cooking dreams, and then when her dad poses a challenge between her and her 15 brothers to have the best restaurant, she's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the one that's going to be the legacy chef in our family. But the problem is the best place for her to open up her restaurant is in the middle of a monster town. So she has to learn a completely new culinary style of how to cook for all these monsters. So it's adorable, and it also is really funny. So that's my first pick. What do you got, Jen?
So I picked a bunch of cozies, but the first one actually isn't really a cozy. But I love the Stephanie Plum books from Janet Ivanovich. They're just so funny, and they're just a really fast read for me. But what I really love is that Stephanie and Lulu are always eating donuts, and it always, always, always makes me want a donut after I read those books. During reading those books, donuts.
I had donuts yesterday. I know. I'll bring them in on Friday. So my next one is a manga that's a middle school teen read. It's called Delicious in Dungeon. So it kind of puts two ingredients together to make a weird cake. So if you have D&D fantasy people that also like cooking shows, this is a great book for them. It's all about a group of adventurers that get stuck in a dungeon. One of their compatriot dies and they're starving, and they're like, why don't we just eat the monsters? And so they start up a whole entire new culinary side business of yeah, we'll do the adventuring, we'll kill the monsters, and then we'll come back and we'll make these awesome meals from them. So I guess it's 2 monster cookbooks. But it's pretty great, and it's also a fun little RPG type-esque that's funny and not super gory mostly. So yeah.
Up next, I've got the Cupcake Bakery Mystery Series. This is a cozy series by Jen McKinley. This is not the first book, but this book is vanilla beaned. 2 best friends have their own cupcake bakery shop, and of course they find dead bodies along the way, and the new book just dropped, and it was Pumpkin Spice Peril, which sounds amazing, so that's great. I'm going to go again because I have more books. I read a lot of cozies, and I read a lot with food in them. This one is Julie Hizzy's State of the Onion. This is a cozy set in the White House. She is the premier White House chef, and of course, dead bodies, Secret Service, and White House shenanigans. It's a really fun series, and it's finished, so you can read them all.
I think you should go one more time.
Okay, if you insist.
I do.
The next one is Eclair in Present Danger. This is the start of a new series by Laura Bradford. Winnie thinks that she's going to inherit some extra money so she can keep her bakery open. In reality, she inherits a cat and an old ambulance. And she decides that she's going to open an emergency dessert service with the ambulance and drive her baked goods all over town, which I think sounds amazing, and I wouldn't mind if that was here.
Cool. So I'm going to talk about one of my favorite YAs I've read from the past couple of years called The Summer of Jordi Perez and the Best Burger in Los Angeles. So this one doesn't actually have cooking involved in it, but the subplot that runs through it is looking for the best burger in LA. It's adorable. Basically, Abby is trying to be she has an Instagram fashion blog, and she's just gotten an internship at this really fashionable LA boutique, and she's like, yes, this is great. And then she starts crushing on the other girl that has an internship there for her photography, because at first it's oh, competition, but then it's oh, this girl's really cute. Meanwhile, the whole thing that runs through it is she ends up becoming friends with it's that whole situation where when you have a really cool best friend and they start dating this guy who's sort of just a bunch of guys that you don't really, you're who are these people? Jax is how she befriends him, and so Jax is the best friend to the boyfriend. And he's this lacrosse playing bro, and who actually ends up giving really good love advice throughout the book. But he's the one that he's trying to create his dad's trying to create an app for like food rating and something, so they have to go find the best burger. So they kind of have like these really great friendship talks that kind of go throughout the book. So it was a really cute, sweet read, but also it's a really nice book for summertime too, which, you know, it's creeping up.
It's just around the corner.
Yep. What do you got?
All right, this one is For Cheddar or Worse. It is a cheese shop mystery.
You don't say.
By Avery Adams. Nope, Avery Ames, sorry. And this makes me always hungry for cheese, and it also made me want to try different types of cheeses. And if you don't know me, I'm not really a food adventurous person, so I did step a little bit out of my comfort zone after reading this, and I'm glad I did. This series is also finished, and it's really fun. All the books are really fun. I don't know why I just said that.
I mean, they're cozies. You're never going to have a bad time reading them.
No, it's true.
They're kind of like potato chip books too, I find.
You can't just stop at one.
You can't, because there's a series. Yeah, so my next one is another YA. This is The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. This is a newer writer that's come out in the past couple years. So Clara is a little bit of a practical joker, so much so that she creates a horrible Carrie-esque practical joke at prom this year that lands her in huge trouble with her dad, who runs Cobra. It's a Korean-Brazilian food truck in LA. And so the punishment, she has a constant war with like the class president, who's very type A, and Clara is very much like, nope, I have a skateboard, like I don't show up to school on time, who cares? So they both get stuck working in the food truck for the summer. So it's like an unlikely pairing of friends. And so it's all about them kind of becoming better people to a certain extent. And of course she meets a cute boy named Hamlet, who also works for a different restaurant, or food truck, or maybe just restaurant. I don't know, it's been a while since I read this. Anyway, but it's adorable. But it's a pretty cool book. I also really, as you can tell, like summer and LA type stories. So this kind of falls in with the Summer of Jordi Perez a little bit too. But it has got a lot of like cool stuff with the food trucks, which also makes you very hungry by the end of it if you're into like fusion food trucks, which I am. So.
All right, my next book is Through the Grinder. This is not the first book in the series. The first book is called On What Grounds, and this is by Cleo Coyle. And I actually don't like coffee at all. I think it smells really good, but I think it tastes terrible.
I would drink all of your coffee.
That is true. But Claire owns a coffee house in New York City, and there's a really fun cast of characters. It's just a really interesting take on a cozy, mostly because I never thought I would like that, because I don't, as I say, I don't drink coffee. But the drinks sound great, and they also serve lots of snacks and pastries with the coffee, so how can you go wrong with that? All right, I'm going to go one more time.
Yes, you should go one more time.
This one is The Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder by Joanna Fluke. This is also a Hallmark movie channel, murder mystery channel. And Murder, She Baked is what they're called, right?
Yes, they're my favorite of the Hallmark mysteries.
They are fun. So if you haven't seen those, they're often on repeat if you have the Hallmark channel. And Hannah Swanson owns the cookie shop. Of course, there's murder. It's a small town. But she talks about making these amazing send-in cookies, and you always want to eat them. There are some food recipes in this one. There's actually food recipes in most of the books. I forgot to say that. But her family is sweet, the town is charming, and the cookies sound like they're to die for.
It's because they are. There's so much murder in that one small town. It's like Murder, She Wrote. Like, is Hannah Swanson actually murdering people with her cookies? You'll never know. Because they'll just die. So, yeah, so my next pick, since I like went hardcore on the food theme, so this is one of my favorite cookbooks. It's by Chef Vivian Howard. It's called Deeper in Roots. She is a chef in North Carolina, so some of you may know I'm a Southern transplant. But what I love about this book is it showcases a lot of great Southern eats that people don't actually know about, because everyone assumes it's just fried chicken and like fried green tomatoes, which are great, don't get me wrong. But there are other things in here, like there's pimento cheese. She has a really good one on like Pimp My Grits, which is as pimento cheese and grits, which I know you're probably like, oh. So
Not food adventurous.
it's totally fine. But there's also like some comfort faves in my childhood, like tomato and rice. But one of the things I love about her cookbook is instead of doing it like appetizers, like main sides, she does it by like, there are a little bit of that, but she also does it by vegetables. So there's a whole section that's just corn. There's a whole section that's just tomatoes or cucumbers, which is, you know, huge staples in the South. So yes, this is one of my favorite cookbooks, and you too can check it out.
All right, the last book I have is The Diva Runs Out of Time. This is, of course, set near Thanksgiving, so it's a fall book. It is the first in the series. The latest book just came out, The Diva Spices It Up. So again, small town, charming. They're in, I think, near Washington, D.C. Sophie is the star of it. She is an event planner. And she has this kind of competition with this woman, Natasha, who is a childhood rival, but also owns a cooking show on TV. And so in the beginning of each chapter, you kind of get little advice mentions or advice columns from Sophie or Natasha, and they sometimes have a very different take. They always have a very different take on it, but it's fun to see them kind of play off each other. Sophie is very kind of cozy and, you know, natural, and Natasha is very, what's the next thing, and she's kind of fussy, and so that dynamic is fun to watch. But a lot of friendships, a lot of food. Sophie is always baking, and of course it's just a lot of fun. So if you like cozy mysteries, there's a stack. If you like other books with food in them, there's
Yeah,
another stack.
I went for the quirky angle of like, what do I know? But also I don't read as many cozies as you do.
That is true.
So you are the cozy queen.
So we hope that you found a book you might like. You can place a hold on it if you're a Cragen Library card holder, and we will put that out for delivery.
And our book shop is open, even if we are closed to the public. So please send us those books.
Yes. See you next week.